Well, the problem with my RAID server is that every time you turn it on, it comes up with a warning and says, you've got a problem with your RAID card, please open the RAID utility. So you open the RAID utility and you check it out, and basically the battery's dead. But the real problem is that you cannot write to the server very fast. Here I show a computer showing how fast I'm sending a file to the server, and it's only about 16 megabytes per second. So there's no way I can run a server at that speed. That's the whole point of the RAID card, is to be able to write to your server at extremely higher speeds than what the hard drive would normally allow you. So shut down the server, and we're going to pull the server out, and I'll show you the process of what I did anyway to replace the battery and get my server up and working. So make sure you've got your static straps attached, and you're not going to cause any sparks to burn anything out. But anyway, on the back of the server, I found a little screw here that holds everything together, keeps the top on. So once I loosen that one off, and there's another one over here, I think, then the top moves backwards and lifts right off, so you can see everything that's inside of your server. So there we go. That's the inside of my Xserve. Now the part that I'm after, there's a battery under here someplace, so that's where I'm really interested in getting to. But in order to get that, I have to take out some screws and remove a bunch of other parts too. There's one screw, and there's another screw. Okay, so I've got those screws loosened, and this assembly should come right out of here. There's a connector at one end, it just pops right out, and there, that's the connector there. And there's my fan assembly. Set that down. So there's a large opened area in there. Okay, still haven't got at the battery. And look at that. There is the battery connector right there. So let's see if I can get this. Oh, boy, that came out easily. Okay, there's another connector right here that goes from the RAID card to the power supply board. And if I squeeze this connector, and that pops out. So I have my RAID card is disconnected, and I just have to find some screws that hold that on. Okay, right there is one screw, and all the way down the RAID card, doesn't look like there's any more connectors. So screwdriver, looks like, okay. Okay, I've got this screw loosened here, and there does not seem to be any other screw holding it down. So, what's holding it in? Guess what? It is the hard drives. So, 1, 2, 3 of my hard drives. Roll my chair back over here and pull this way. You see these little slotted retainers? They're all over the place. If I slide this way, now my RAID card should pop right up. Whoa, look at that. The RAID card comes right out of there. Kind of hard to do this and hold the camera. Look at that. There's my RAID card. Set that down. And there's a battery, but you cannot get the battery out yet because there's one clip on the battery that's held underneath the power supply board, and the power supplies are still engaged. So moving back to the back of the Xserve, I need to get these out. So I need to remove, so there's a little clip on the back, pull this out like that, and the power supply slides out. I'm going to do the same thing to the other power supply. Now, because I have pulled those out, just show you what happens at the front end. Those were engaged right there. There would have been two of them. And I pull the power supply out, and it disengages from the board. Now I have this power board still in there. There's one retainer screw that I have to loosen. Okay, that one's out. And there are a couple of these little slotted retainers that are still there. And there's a connection going to the main motherboard. So if I pull this way, is that going to pop up? It is. So that disconnected. Take that right out. Set that down. And now I have a battery that I can lift out. And since I already removed the clip, everything is loose. Well, here's the moment that I've been waiting for anyway. It's time to put in my new battery. So you get this battery from right packaged fresh from Apple. There it is right there. Lots and lots of instructions. Probably dated. Look at that, eh? Well, I'm not sure what this little paper's for, but it comes directly from some foreign country. It says date. Nobody signed it. Oh well. Hopefully it is a good and usable battery. On the back is some protective plastic and some adhesive that allows me to stick it to my case after I drop it into place. Okay, got the battery turned around the right direction. Place it over all of the pins, and yeah, the adhesive sticks it down to the case. Okay, and I've got the power supply cord on the side there, and it's easily obtainable so I can reconnect it. Now comes all the reverse parts. First part I took out was the board for the power supply. It's probably got a technical name which I haven't got a clue of what it's called. But anyway, back it goes and sits back in there, slides back to engage into the motherboard. And of course now my power supplies could snap down over top of that. Okay, the next piece I need to put back in is the RAID card. I'm going to slide that back in underneath that connector strip, and see if I can get this lined up in all of these little grooves, because it does provide you with an exact location for it to go. There we go. Those retainer sliders seem to be back in position. And is it right? Now, where's my power connector? There it is. I can get at it, so I didn't lose it underneath. And I need to tighten down this one large screw that holds it all in place. There we go. Seems to be good. Ribbon cable, I'm going to just push it back on. That went on oh, there we go. That went on easily. Now we've got this large, heavy amperage cable. Snaps back into place. Oh, here's another screw that I forgot. I'm sure all of you that were watching were going, what an idiot, he forgot it. Well, I got it. Okay. That one was to actually hold the power supply board into place This is to hold my RAID card. Okay, let's see if I can hold this camera while I use the not normally used hand of mine. This clip goes in there like that. Okay, that's where it's going to go, and I'm going to have to cover it with my fingers while I squeeze. There we go. And it has now snapped into position. Well, going back together, the fan assembly is going back in. Man, okay. That snaps, sets in there like that. Front lines up. And I'm going to push down. There we go. The electrical connection is pushed in. And of course, at each end is a screw. There we go. One. And two. Okay. Now there's a large connector ribbon here. It's got to fit down between the heatsink and the ribbon cable. Down here. This looks good. Got everything all tucked away. And the last thing is that I need to put the plastic cover on. If you don't put this plastic cover on, I would imagine that you're going to be overheating quite quickly, because that is designed to direct the air in the correct location. So there, got it all lined up. I'm going to shut the camera off while I put in the screws. Okay, my cover's on. That's good. I just have to push my power supplies back in. So that goes in there. And this one's going to get pushed in as well, but I'm just going to video at the front end just to see what it's like when it pops in. So in it comes, and there it's popped in, and then of course latched at the back. Last items to push in, I have a hard drive, and each of those hard drives engage themselves into the slots that were in the RAID cards. So there you have it. My Xserve is back together again, and I'm just going to put the cover on and slip it into the rack, and we'll see if it boots up. Well, we've got it booted up again. It says the battery's dead. It says it's charging. So I am going to go home for the evening and see what happens tomorrow morning to see if it's fully charged. Maybe it'll take a while to charge. Well, there's the exciting part. It's the next morning, and it looks like overnight the battery has charged, and it says the write cache status is enabled. So I'm back up to full speed again. That's good. So you can see there at 4:57 p.m. the write cache was disabled because the battery was conditioning. But wow, my server is back up. Everything should be working good again. Okay, just to finish this off, I'm showing you now a screen of a computer, again, the same one, sending a file to the server. This time I'm getting about 75 megabytes per second.